Good morning. My name is Gracie, and I'm actually filming this in a campground right now because I've been with Kidder Creek the last few days, river rafting on the Klamath River. And a few weeks ago, I was actually here again with my junior high student leadership team. And I love this week. I love camp in general, but when we get to be on the river and it is super hot out and I'm with students who I've known for a few years or maybe a first year and getting to see them and spend a full week with them, it's just epic. It really is. And I am so grateful that God has gifted me this. But when we drove home, it was a little bit harder to be grateful because our 10-hour travel day turned into a 15-hour travel day. And in the middle of that, we had to shuffle some vehicles around and we had new car groups. And I'm sharing all this because in one of those new car groups, my husband Jake got to have some conversations with some of our students that he said are the most impactful conversations he's maybe ever had in youth ministry. And so now I'm starting to question if maybe God slowed us down on purpose that day. Maybe God slowed us down so that I could develop some patience and not freak out about the added time. And maybe God slowed us down on purpose so that those students would feel comfortable enough to have that conversation with Jake, to talk about how their faith impacts their life now and how they want to grow and develop their faith more to be the foundation of their life. And as I've kept thinking about that day, I actually have been really looking into Galatians 5, the fruits of the Spirit. Because if you don't know that verse, it reads, "But the Holy Spirit produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control." Now, I'm seeing two things from that day, from that slowdown, that come from the fruits of the Spirit. One is faithfulness. These students wanted to remain faithful and talk about how their faith will and can impact their life moving forward. And for me, on a personal level, I see how God developed my patience that day, because I am not someone who will typically slow down on purpose. But maybe God helped me slow down and asked me to slow down by making one of the vehicles have a hard time running. And I see it now as a good thing. And it's actually changed the way that I'm looking at all these other areas of my life and asking, okay, Lord, are you asking me to slow down here? Is God slowing me down so that I can see him more presently and not just keep moving through my day from thing to thing to thing and always looking forward, but rather maybe God is slowing me down so that I can be present where I'm at. And if you've watched some of my other video devos, you know that I typically send questions or homework home with them. And those questions I'm going to ask you too. Reflect on, how is God slowing you down? Why is he slowing you down? And where can you see him in those things? I don't mean this as a bad thing, but rather as actually a call to be with him, to commune with God in the moments where we can slow down and let go of the constant hurry that so many of us are in. So where is God slowing you down, and how can you slow down to see him more? Those are my homework questions for you today, and they are brought to you from my long travel day that happened a few weeks ago.